Alright, it's been a while since I've made a video about my worm-in composting system, and I guess it's been almost a year. It's June, today's the 5th. I got it last year in August, and it's been a learning experience, but it's cool, and it's still going strong. And right now I'm going to make this video about how I prepare my bedding. And the first thing you do is grab a bucket, and I save up, I tend to like this recycled type paper from milk, or excuse me, egg cartons, and these from fast food. Save toilet paper rolls, and the first thing I do is I tear them all up and I put them in the bucket. Okay, there we go. I ripped them all up. I had probably about 7 egg cartons and some toilet paper rolls in there, and just tore them up into little pieces. I like using this type of stuff because it seems like it breaks down a little faster or easier or whatever. The worms can eat it quicker, like this recycled paper, whatever. I don't mess around with newspaper anymore, at least in regards to bedding material. I do use the newspaper, and I'll show you why I do that later, but I also try to from like the egg carton, leave the little cup like this intact, because the worms, what they will do is they will nest inside of here, and it makes it like a little home. Makes them comfortable, and they tend to procreate faster when they do that. And I don't really know if that's actually true or not, but it sounded good. And of course, if I was a worm, well, that's what I would do. But so anyways, that's it. Just tear them up, whatever, doesn't matter. That's how I do it. And the next thing I do is I add some peat moss. Now, I'm still kind of tweaking this, trying to figure out what is better. Like before, I used to use the newspaper. I've tried cardboard, but the cardboard, the newspaper, I don't know, it just seems like it takes longer for the worms to break it down. So I've been preferring this, and I have been using peat moss. I know some people don't like using peat moss because of an unrenewable resource, whatever. It works. It does great. I don't even know if it's necessary at this point. I think maybe all I really need is this, but since I bought it, I'm going to use it, and I'm just going to dump some peat moss in. Okay, there it is. Peat moss is in there. Next thing I do is just wet it down to a wrung out sponge consistency. And I'm not measuring anything. I'm just putting it in there and, eyeballing whatever. It is what it is. So I'm going to go put some water on it. Alright, so there it is. I just used my hose here and sprayed it down. Got it all wet, mixed it up with my hand, and there it is. Squeeze it out, and I don't know, I guess wrung out sponge. I'm not necessarily worried about how wet it is. It's one of the benefits of using the worm-in system. It has excellent aeration, and it is extremely forgiving when it comes to moisture. But that's about right. That's what I want right there. Squeeze it. You can see, some drops. Whatever. Maybe the peat moss is good for soaking up excess moisture and holding on to it. Here in Sacramento, it can get very hot in the summertime, so they'll need the extra moisture to keep cool. But anyways, that's it. That's what it looks like. And I'm going to take that, now and just put that on top. I said earlier that I did use the newspaper, and I saw some other people using it this way on some YouTube videos, and basically they use it as just a cover, and I have adopted that method because, and I keep this moist. It's a little dry right now, but I keep it moist. But I like doing it this way because before, what I would do is I would bury the food a little bit underneath the bedding. Never see what they were doing, but now like this, I put the food on top, and the worms, they just come right to the surface and they chow down. And I totally like it that way because I like being able to see what's in there and what they're doing and how much they're eating and how fast they're eating and how many worms I have. This is just a wonderful way to be able to get them to come up to the surface. And these are just all, this thing is loaded with worms, and I'm very happy with it, and how much the worms have been eating and consuming. I am now to the point where, let's see, I bought 2 pounds of these worms a year ago in August, last year in August. It's June now, and they're consuming all of my vegetable matter waste. I don't have any that I can really spare for my hot compost buckets. Anyways, you can see why it's beneficial to do that. And the worms come up to the surface, they eat, I can see them. It's great. It's a lot better than not seeing what's going on in there. You can see all of this. This is all this black is just castings, I don't know. It's working very well for me. Like I said, I started out with 2 pounds. I have no idea how much is in there now, but a lot more than 2 pounds. So what I'm going to do now is just take that bucket of bedding and I'm going to throw it on top and put the newspaper back on top. Oh, and I got a bag of food too I'm going to throw on top. I guess I'll show you that. Alright, so there it is, full to capacity with all of the wet bedding. And I'm now going to take this bag of food. What I like to do is save all, this is a 2-gallon Ziploc bag. I save whatever scraps I can in here, and I put it in the freezer, and then when I'm ready to feed them, about once a week I'm doing it. This bag is about almost full once it's frozen and all of it kind of smushes down and the water weight and whatever. So I thaw it out and then I just put it in on top. Okay, there it is. Food on top. Weigh off any flies. And I'm going to put the newspaper back on top, and then I'm going to wet it down and close it up, and that's going to be it. Alright, there you have it. Finished product. Wet down newspaper. Carbon in the newspaper helps to keep any smells down. Of course, it keeps any flies away, and that's it. And that thing is full, about to capacity. And I'm going to leave that for a few days, let the worms that were in the bottom come up to the surface, and it's actually ready to be harvested again. And when I do that in a couple days, I don't know, maybe tomorrow, I will make another video and show you what I have. Thanks for watching.